So guys, let's talk about Miss Rachel. So I have a new granddaughter, as I said in my last video, and she is obsessed with Miss Rachel. And we went on a road trip a couple months back, and my granddaughter watched and we listened to countless hours on end of Miss Rachel. And so my granddaughter could be entertained in the vehicle for 18 hours. So neither here nor there. We love Miss Rachel in this house. And my granddaughter was a preemie, and so she has struggled with speech. She hasn't struggled with it. She's just a lot. She hasn't hit the milestones that we're used to in our family. And so we felt like she was delayed or struggling, and that maybe it was attributed to her being a preemie, or we just wasn't working with her enough or whatever. And so we were kind of worried. Well, I mean, fast forward, she's actually right on time. We just didn't know. And she's doing things a little later than most kids in our family, but she's doing really well. But Miss Rachel has a lot to do with her progress because of things that she's learned on her show. So, like, we put her in speech therapy and stuff, and she still is not saying as many words as we would prefer her to do, but she's actually saying words, and she's sign languaging, and we didn't even realize that she was using sign language in proper form and context until the speech therapist had told my daughter. She's like, do you know that she's saying this and that she's doing this? And we thought all along that she was just doing cute little gestures, when all along she was literally sign languaging and using it in context and answering us with sign language that she learned from Miss Rachel. And so we started to pay attention more to what Miss Rachel teaches and what she how she's teaching kids. And we started working with our granddaughter that way, and my daughter as well. My daughter works with my granddaughter quite a bit. But we started to use things from Miss Rachel to kind of work with her because we saw that she was responding to it. God, that was a long way to get to where we're at. But anyways, I realized on the internet that she had done my only contact with Miss Rachel is that show. I didn't know she was giving interviews. I don't know anything about her life or who's in her life or who she is as a person. We've watched that show enough to make sure that my granddaughter wasn't being hypnotized or manipulated, or anything inappropriate wasn't being shown on there. Because like with my grandsons, they would watch Cocomelon and I would watch it with them, and I thought that it was wonderful. I mean, we would listen to Cocomelon in the background while I'd play with them for hours, and I had no idea that there was anything bad to it until I started to see videos where, I realized that, yeah, my grandson did turn into a little zombie and be entranced and all the things that it could have been doing to him. So we didn't want that with the Miss Rachel with our granddaughter. So I find out that Miss Rachel did an interview or whatever, and she was asked a question about Hamas or the children in Palestine. And I watched the interview, and I could see that she was just being very heartfelt about children, and that she was bothered by what is happening to children in the Middle East. And I didn't see it as she was being sympathetic to one side or the other. She was asked specifically about a group of children, and she was shown videos about groups of children, but it didn't appear to me that she was villainizing Israel or minimizing what the Israeli children are going through or Jewish children were going through. However, that is how it kind of got twisted. Is there's so many videos now talking about Miss Rachel being bad because she's pro-Hamas and she's pro-Palestine and she only cares about the Gazan children and she doesn't care about Israel and da 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 da. And I first of all, how the hell does any of that become politics? How is any of that political? When a person who is in our homes with our children and her songs are just running through my head 24/7, whether I'm at work or I'm sleeping or I'm in the shower. How is this person that does children's content being sympathetic to something that's horrible happening to children in another place in the world turn into something political? I have no idea. And just because she was shown Palestinian children or children in Gaza, and she was asked about those specific children, and she commented heartfeltly and with sympathy and concern for them, that is a direct slap in the face to other children who are on the opposing side of that. I have no idea. But both sides of the aisle are attaching themselves to this. Pro-Palestinian people, pro-Israel people, Democrats, Republicans are both using this as an opportunity to further their talking points. It's just bizarre to me. I literally have been watching a lot of conservative content because it's all over now and it's crazy. And there's so many new conservative channels that I've been interested in seeing, because a lot of times people say they're conservative, but then their lifestyle or their views are not necessarily conservative because they don't realize what being conservative means. You can have conservative morals or values, but not necessarily be conservative. Or you can say you're conservative, but then you really kind of live a life that's not conservative. And I said it on my old videos too. I wish I could be conservative. I was raised, Catholic, and I was raised to have the mindset of that. But I'm a flawed human being that has different views, and I really just can't be. I don't know how to be just one thing, really, and I'm not going to pretend to be a conservative. I have conservative values, and I would love to be 100% moral and conservative, but I just can't, and I don't see it that way. So I'm just interested. And to me, what it started to feel like is that the conservative movement, that not all conservatives, but the conservative movement is now swinging so far right and in their own category that they're almost the socialists and the liberals of the Republican Party, like the socialists and the liberals on the Democratic Party. It's becoming a subset that is just so extreme. Like, the videos are getting so intense. And I was watching a talking panel on an interview where there was like 3 or 4 conservatives and like one person that was Democrat and one person that was independent. And then the interviewer was clearly a Democrat. And so it was like a 3 against 3. And all of it was ridiculous and extreme for both sides. But like the conservative panelists were saying, I wouldn't let my children watch Miss Rachel because now I can't trust that what she's going to say on there is not going to be pro-Palestine or pro-Hamas. And it's like, what? Like, that is just absolutely insane. First of all, you don't have to let your kids watch anything. That's fine. But really, I mean, you really would have to watch her to understand that that's just not a thing. Then another conservative said, well, I never let my children watch her anyway because she's pushing the LBT, you know, the LBGTQ plus community with the people that she has on there. And I'm just like, okay, she's not pushing anything. There is a diverse group of people that are involved in her show, that participate and are on her videos, but nowhere does she imply or say that any lifestyle or race, religion, color, anything is pro anything. She has a diverse group of people that your children are going to see in the world. Like, she's got, black women, black men, white men, Asian people. There's Jules, who I don't know if she's gay or if she's transgender. She just looks very tomboyish. So I'm assuming that's what they're talking about. There's just a large group of people, different people, and this is what your children are going to encounter in the world, but nowhere was lifestyle or anything pushed, but they're acting like because there's different people on this show that's obviously her promoting LGBTQ. And then another man that's a conservative pops in and he goes, well, kids shouldn't be watching TV at all. They shouldn't be anything but just face-to-face interaction with their parents, and you should be investing that time. That's great, sir. I'm hoping that you have a stay-at-home wife and maybe 2 kids, and you have all the resources in the world so that you have an adult that you trust, face-to-face interacting with your child 24/7, no breaks. But that's not reality. That's not real world. There's 3 adults in this house taking care of 1 baby, and I'll tell you, we're all exhausted. And my daughter doesn't have the time all the time to be face-to-face teaching her baby. She has to cook dinner or make snacks for the baby, or she has to do things, clean the house. She has to study. She has so many things going on along with raising her child that, yes, sometimes it's really just nice to have my granddaughter playing in the living room, listening to Miss Rachel and interacting while my daughter can take a moment to go pee or take a shower or make a meal. Like, it's just like, I don't know where these people are living or what kind of perfect world that their situation's in, but it's just absurd to say that. So I'm just like, literally, the conservative side of that argument was so offensive. And then, of course, the other side was just talking about, genocide and all the stuff and how intense it is. And then, of course, that it's just all bad for Israeli to do what they're doing, and it doesn't matter what happened on October 7th. It just was such a shit show, and it's so extreme on both sides, and it really has absolutely nothing to do with Miss Rachel, and it's offensive to think that they're using this as an opportunity to shit on a lady who cared about some kids, that she had seen a video or that they're watching, she's bringing them some joy in another country while they're being bombed. And it's like, it has absolutely nothing to do with Israel. And I'm sure that if she was shown pictures or videos of Israeli children or Jewish children who were going through something or in the same context, she would have said the same exact thing that she said. It had nothing to do with these being Palestinian children or kids from Gaza or Jewish children from Israel. She was talking about children suffering in general. And so, do you guys feel like she should, and then one of them said she should just not talk about it at all. She does a children's channel, and so she should not talk, even though she wasn't talking about it on her show, because they said she doesn't talk about this stuff on her show. She shouldn't, on her own time, talk about these things because she does a children's show. It's like, what the hell does that mean? You can't be a human being with an opinion or something to say outside of your job, because your job is one thing and you should represent that job even on your private time too. Unbelievable. Unbelievable and totally offensive. I could be way off base. I could be just super, super defensive for Miss Rachel because my granddaughter loves her and because she's actually benefited my family by her content. I don't know. I have no idea. But at the end of the day, I wanted to know what you guys think about this. Do you know Miss Rachel? Is she a big deal in your house, or is this all just stupid? And how do you feel about politics just bleeding into everything? It's like at some point we've got to just be human beings living a human experience, as opposed to being Jewish, white, black, Asian, and where we come from. Like, we're just human people going through human shit, and you can't have sympathy for somebody because of the color of them or where they come from. I have no fucking idea. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm disgusted. I'm angry. I just want to just turn it all off, but I can't help myself. I'm so interested. We'll talk to you guys later.